Hi everybody, this is Dennis Brooks. I'm from the NBTSG, National Beauty Tool Sharpeners Guild. Thought I'd spend a few moments with you and talk about certification. For those that are thinking about doing certification and have never done it, this might take some of the mystery out of it. For certification, the shears that you will be certifying on, they'll come in an envelope like this. There's 3 shears in there. One's going to be a convex edge shear. It could be right or left-handed. A thinner will be in there that you'll have to sharpen, and a bevel edge shear. Bevel edge shear will be kind of like a barber type shear. It's going to have a corrugated, or it's going to need a corrugated edge on one blade. It's something that you'll have to do for certification, is do corrugation. But the shears, they'll come in packages like this, and you'll be able to pick out any package you want. All the shears are all damaged exactly the same. I go through a lot of quite an extensive procedure for damaging the shears. They're all brand new shears by making fixtures so that the nicks and the scratches and possibly the bent blade or bent handle is all exactly the same. So, but you'll be able to pick out your own shears when you get your shears. Inside will be, oh, it's right here. I got it out. There'll just be a short instruction list. There'll be a number attached to it. You'll keep that number or remember that number. It's better just to keep it. And we're going to ask you not to write your name on the envelope or do any kind of identifying marks. And don't put your name on the inside. We want to judge the shears on an unbiased opinion when we're judging the shears. The number that's inside the package that you keep will correspond with the number on this paper right here. And that'll stay sealed until the results are all done and the judging is all done. So you'll have 2 hours to sharpen the shears. Should be plenty. They are going to have some nicks on them. They are going to have scratches, maybe a bent handle. No parts will be missing on the shears whenever we do certification. All the washers, all the finger rests, and all the bumpers will be on the shears, so you don't have to worry about having to come up with parts. What we're looking for in certification, like on a convex edge shear, what we're looking for is a smooth convex surface. It's an outward curve that curves down to the cutting edge, an unbroken curve. That's what the convex edge shear means, is has that sloping curve. Some guys will try to put have a slight bevel to it, or a micro bevel, or even a semi-convex, and we're looking for a smooth convex, which is like what the factories have. We're looking for a nice polished mirror finish like a factory had when it came with it, and a smooth feeling shear. So during the test you will have to be able to take out nicks. You'll be able to have to test out your polishing abilities. There'll be scratches on them that you'll have to be able to polish out. And if we have a set of shears that has lettering on it, that'll be taken into consideration. The lettering, because if you get into the lettering, that's going to be something that we'll definitely look at and not deduct points for that if there is lettering on the shear. On the thinner, it's going to be a convex edge thinner, and it could be left-handed or right-handed. We're looking for on the cutting blade to be a smooth convex again. We're also looking for on both of the shears that are hollow ground like this, we're looking for a nice, smooth, flat, even ride line, just like the factory has on both of these. And the bevel edge we talked about. As far as the cut test, we want to cut. We want the test to have the scissor do all the work. We're not going to try to influence the cut with finger pressure with our thumb while we're making a cut. So we set up this little fixture here, and I'll show you how you can do it on your own. Like for the dry tissue test. Matter of fact, for the tissue, what I use is Puff's tissue. It's what I've been using for years. It's what we will use for the test. I consider even everyday sharpening to pick out one brand of tissue and stay with it to do your initial cut test with the tissue, because then you get to see how that feels. Some tissues cut differently than others. But for the judging, what we'll do is for like the dry test, we'll put one layer of dry tissue on the shear, and so that we're not going to influence that cut, what I'm going to do is stick a pencil in the ring here and raise it, and it's almost virtually impossible for me to influence that cut. Basically, the shear is going to do all the work. And I'm going to push down and keep it closed, and we see that was a fairly good cut. It had just a little bit of a push at the back, but that's common on the dry tissue. But that's how I would do a test with a shear, and trying to keep it to where the shear is doing all the work. Same way, just like this, is what I'm going to do with the thinner. Is I'm going to take and stick it in here, and somebody would hold hair right there, and I'm just going to raise it and make the cut. Most common thing I see in certification, as far as the cut is concerned, is that the shear is too loose. Now, I'm not saying that you need to over tighten it, but a lot of times I will see a shear that will cut with finger pressure. On this one here, hopefully I can demonstrate it. I'm going to put a little bit of finger pressure, and we can see with finger pressure that it cuts really well almost all the way to the tip. Maybe just a little snag at the tip, and I've got finger pressure on it. But I'm influencing the cut. Whenever I make that same cut with no finger pressure, then we can see that it's folding about half of the way it folded the tissue. Okay, that shear there cuts a lot better with finger pressure, but it doesn't cut with no pressure. It could be the tension on it or other issues with it, but I would want to go back and get that to where it would cut with no pressure. The thinner test, what we're looking for with hair is we're simply looking for, we're going to check it again with no pressure, no side pressure. What we're going to do is close it on the hair and then pull it out, and I can see that it didn't pull, so that was a good cut. We can see where it thinned it. While we're talking about the hair that we use for certification, I get from Sally Beauty Supply. It's 100% human hair. This is a 10-inch length. It's about $20 for a 10-inch length. That'll last a long time. The only thing I do different to this is I will go ahead and wash it with shampoo and conditioner and rinse it out real good, and blow dry it and then comb it out. That way any chemicals or anything that was on the hair will be removed, and it'll give me a good cutting medium. But that's the kind of hair that we use. So we've sharpened the shears, we've checked them. You see the things that we're looking for in our test. We're looking for just basically good, solid sharpening. Nothing special. The corrugated edge can be any corrugation you want, left, right, or straight corrugation. We're looking for a corrugation that would be used on hair, so it's probably not going to be a really rough corrugation. If the corrugation on either blade, we'll allow that, either one, whatever blade you want to corrugate. We're looking for a good flat bevel on our bevel edge shear. So you want to be able to have a machine that you could put a really nice flat bevel on. After you get done sharpening your shears, right after certification, we've got a shear damage sheet. This is some of the things these are the things that I've done to the shear to damage it. For example, on my bevel edge shear, looks like we have a slight bend on the handle, causing the blades to underlap. So we would need to either bend the handle or possibly remove some bumper to let it close more. The finger rest was loose. A small nick, approximately 1.5 inches from the tip, and the thumb blade on that bevel edge shear was a 0-degree angle. So that's some of the things, example of some of the things that can be wrong with a shear. Nothing major. Everything on these shears are fixable. When you come to certification, the judges that we pick will be previous master sharpeners and previous judges. Therefore, they have experience in both sharpening at the master quality level and experience in judging shears. Also, the shears that you are going to be certifying on, the judges also do the same test. They do that prior to getting there, and their shears will be available for you to look at after the certification if you'd like, so that you can see maybe why the difference of a 10-point score compared to maybe a 7-point score. You would be able to see the difference and maybe be able to improve your work. So after the shears are done and judged and everything, what we're going to do before we judge them, the secretaries, not the judges, are just going to put a letter on your envelope, similar to this, like E. They're going to go through and randomly put letters on the envelopes, T, Z, M, Q, R, any certain random letter on each envelope. The judges will be judging by letter only. We don't know your number, and you don't know your letter. Therefore, it's double blind. As when we get done, all we'll know is that possibly the letter E got the highest score, and everybody else went down below, got below it. 3 different qualifications for certification, or I'm sorry, 4 different qualifications for certification. No, I'm sorry, 3. We have the journeyman classification. That's for shears that do not have any bends in them, and you don't have to do corrugation on that. That's a different test. It's more for a startup certification. You can also be certified, a certified sharpener, and the next step above that would be the master sharpener. Just because you get the highest score doesn't mean you're a master sharpener. You still have to gain the points for that. So the judges have judged them on letter only, and all the results are done and everything's done. On certification results day, that'll be on a Monday, what we're going to do, as you notice, this here has not been opened yet. The sealed packaging list here has not been opened yet. Just before announcing the results, in plain view of everyone, the secretaries will cut this open, pull out this, and the number inside is going to correspond with the number that you got out of the inside. So they'll write that number down. Now we can put the number to the letter and determine whose shears are whose. For certification purposes, the top 3 spots are going to be recognized. First, second, or third, is going to be recognized. And everything after that will not be recognized, meaning we don't really differentiate between 6th and 7th place, or 4th and 5th place, or 4th and 8th place. We don't recognize. All we recognize is master sharpeners and certified sharpeners. And on top of that, we recognize the top 3 sharpeners, whether they be master or certified. If you do not do well, which happens every year, unfortunately, we do not bring attention to the fact that you didn't get enough points to certify. We try to keep that low key. When we call your number, we just tell you congratulations, and we move on to the next people who would actually be certified. So it's not public that you didn't do well. Hopefully that helps. One other thing I'm going to show you here, as far as the cut test, I do this in my everyday sharpening. I don't do it this way. I will actually take the shear, and this is something you can do on your own. I'll take the shear and lay it on the side of the table, and it doesn't matter which blade you lay down. Let me grab this shear's loose. Let me grab this shear. But I'm going to take the shear and lay it on the side of the table, and I'm going to put some tissue on it right there to make my test cut, and then I can put my pencil in the ring that's hanging down and raise it, and I get a true test cut without finger pressure. But hopefully this clears up a few things for you as far as certification. Certification is a very good learning experience. It has been for me. I've certified many times, and even still, every time I do the certification, I learn something different and learn better ways of improving my work, which is going to show up in my repeat business. But if you have any questions, feel free to call me. Check the NBTSG website for information on signing up for certification or some of the classes, and hopefully this clears up some of the mysteries that might be out there, some of the questions you might have out there about certification. Thank you.